You're 18 years old. Your wallet holds just enough money for a cheap meal. Your phone has no new job offers. The rent is due in 4 days. You sit outside your apartment, watching expensive cars drive past, wondering why everyone else seems to be moving forward while you're standing still. But the real answer is far stranger. The biggest decisions that change a person's life rarely feel like big decisions in the moment. They feel small. They feel temporary. They feel like the only option. You grew up in a part of town where success felt distant. Every morning looked the same streets, the same buildings, the same people talking about dreams they no longer believed in. As a kid, you imagined a different future. You wanted your own house, your own car. You wanted your parents to stop worrying about bills. You promised yourself that one day, things would be different. But growing up has a way of replacing dreams with reality. You leave school hoping to find work. Days turn into weeks. Weeks become months. Every interview ends with the same words. We'll call you. They never do. The savings disappear. The pressure grows heavier every single day. Friends begin finding jobs in other cities. Some leave town completely. Others seem to have money without anyone knowing where it comes from. You notice the difference. One afternoon, someone from your neighborhood walks over and starts a conversation. They remember your name. They ask how life's going. For the first time in months, it feels like someone actually notices you. They tell you they're making good money, not by working harder, just by making the right choices. The sentence stays in your mind long after they leave. That night, you barely sleep. You keep thinking about your family's struggles. You think about the unpaid bills. You think about how badly you wanted to help. When you're desperate, hope can sound exactly like temptation. A few days later, you see the same person again. They tell you life doesn't have to stay this way forever. They make everything sound simple, too simple. You know something doesn't feel right. A voice in your head tells you to walk away. Another voice reminds you that your fridge is almost empty. Which voice would you listen to? At first, you convince yourself you're only spending time with the wrong people. You tell yourself you aren't becoming one of them. You're just trying to survive. That's the lie that traps so many people. Bad decisions rarely arrive wearing warning labels. They arrive disguised as opportunities. The people around you seem confident. They spend money without worrying. They laugh. They tell stories. From the outside, everything looks perfect, but you don't see what happens after everyone goes home. You don't see the fear. You don't see the sleepless nights. You don't see the constant anxiety of wondering whether tomorrow will change everything. Those parts stay hidden. For a while, you ignore the warning signs. You focus only on what you think you're missing: money, respect, a better future. But something inside you begins to change. You become more suspicious, more nervous, more distant from the people who care about you. Your parents ask if you're okay. You smile. You tell them everything's fine. It isn't. You stop talking about your problems because admitting them would mean admitting you're lost. Days become months. You notice people disappearing from the neighborhood. One person moves away. Another is arrested. Someone else simply vanishes. Nobody talks about it for very long. Life continues as if nothing happened. That's when you realize something unsettling. The lifestyle that looked powerful from the outside is actually built on fear. Fear of losing everything. Fear of being betrayed. Fear of making one mistake that changes your life forever. And deep down, you know you're standing closer to that edge than ever before. You tell yourself you'll leave before it's too late. You tell yourself you'll make one more paycheck, one more month, one more chance to get ahead. But every time you think about walking away, it somehow becomes harder. Because the trap was never about money. It was about believing there was no other way out. And that's exactly how the story begins. You wake up one morning and realize something has changed. Not around you. Inside you. You no longer notice the money first. You notice the exits. Every restaurant. Every parking lot. Every crowded street. Your eyes automatically search for a way out. Why? Because fear has quietly become part of your daily routine. The confidence you thought you had wasn't confidence at all. It was adrenaline. Your phone never stays silent anymore. Unknown numbers call at strange hours. Messages arrive in the middle of the night. Every vibration makes your heart beat a little faster. You tell yourself this is just the price of making fast money. But the price keeps getting higher. Your old friends stop inviting you out. Some don't trust you anymore. Others are simply afraid to be around you. The people replacing them aren't really friends. They're people who only stay as long as you're useful. The moment you stop being useful, they disappear. At home, things feel different too. Your family notices you're never relaxed. Dinner conversations become shorter. You spend more time staring at your phone than talking to the people sitting across from you. One evening, your mother asks a simple question. Are you happy? You answer without thinking. Yeah. But later that night, lying awake in bed, you realize you don't even believe your own answer. When was the last time you felt genuinely happy? You can't remember. You only remember feeling relieved whenever another day passes without something going wrong. That's not happiness. That's survival. The expensive things you once dreamed about no longer excite you. The car parked outside doesn't make you smile anymore. It just reminds you how much you have to lose. Every siren in the distance makes your stomach tighten. Every knock at the door interrupts your breathing for a second. You begin living in a world where peace doesn't exist. Then the neighborhood starts changing. People you used to see every day suddenly vanish. One moves away. Another is arrested. Rumors spread faster than facts. Nobody knows who to trust. You start wondering if someone is watching you. Maybe it's only your imagination. Maybe it isn't. The uncertainty is exhausting. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. You keep telling yourself you'll leave soon. Just one more week. Just one more paycheck. Just enough money to start over. But every time you think about walking away, something pulls you back. Not because you want to stay, because you're afraid of what happens if you leave. The trap isn't locked with chains. It's locked with fear. Then everything changes on an ordinary Tuesday morning. The sun hasn't fully risen. The neighborhood is quiet. You hear loud voices outside. Car doors slam. Heavy footsteps. For a second, time feels frozen. Then comes a hard knock on the front door. Another, then another. Your heart races faster than it ever has before. The room suddenly feels smaller. You already know, without anyone saying a word. You know this is the moment you've been afraid of for months. The door opens. Police officers enter. Questions are shouted. Your hands are placed behind your back. As you're led outside, you see neighbors watching through their windows. Some look shocked. Some look disappointed. Some simply look away. The car you once felt proud to own sits parked nearby. Now it feels meaningless. As the police vehicle drives away, you stare out of the window. The streets look exactly the same, but your life has changed forever. For the first time in a long time, there are no more shortcuts, only consequences. The cell door closes with a heavy metallic thud. The sound echoes through the hallway. Then everything goes quiet. For the first time in years, there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and no distraction from your own thoughts. The first few days feel unreal. You keep replaying every decision that brought you here. You think about the opportunities you ignored, the warnings you laughed off, the people who tried to help. None of it can be changed now. Time moves differently in prison. Every morning begins the same way. Every evening ends the same way. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. The outside world keeps moving without you. Birthdays pass. Family celebrations happen. Friends find jobs, get married, and start new lives. You hear about it through short phone calls and letters. Each one reminds you of everything you've missed. The hardest part isn't the small room. It isn't the strict routine. It's seeing the disappointment in your family's eyes when they visit. They still care about you, but you can tell they wish things had turned out differently. One day, your younger brother asks, "When are you coming home?" You don't know what to say. You smile anyway. After the visit ends, that question stays with you for weeks. Slowly, you begin to change. You spend time in the prison library. You finish books you never thought you'd read. You earn educational certificates. You exercise every day. Not because it makes the sentence shorter, because it reminds you that you still have control over something. For the first time in years, you stop looking for shortcuts. You start thinking about the long road instead. Eventually, release day arrives. The prison gates open. Fresh air fills your lungs. You expect it to feel free. Instead, you feel uncertain. The world outside has changed. Technology has changed. People have changed. You have changed. Finding a job isn't easy. Some employers see your past before they see your effort. Some doors close before you even get a chance to explain yourself. It's frustrating, but this time, you don't look for the easy way. You keep trying. One interview becomes another, then another. Finally, someone gives you a chance. The paycheck isn't huge. The work isn't glamorous. But for the first time in years, every dollar you earn lets you sleep peacefully. Months later, you save enough to help your family with groceries. It isn't much, yet it means more than all the fast money ever did. Because this time, nobody can take it away. One evening, you drive home after work. The sunset looks ordinary. Cars pass by. People walk along the sidewalks. Years ago, you believed success was about looking rich. Now you understand it's about living without fear. You no longer jump every time you hear a siren. You no longer wonder who's watching you. You no longer wake up expecting the worst. Peace turns out to be something money could never buy. Looking back, you realize your life wasn't changed by one huge decision. It was changed by many small ones. Some led you into darkness. Others slowly led you back out. If someone standing where you once stood asked for advice, you tell them this: being broke is temporary. Losing your freedom can last for years. The fastest road often becomes the longest detour. Real success isn't measured by how quickly you make money. It's measured by whether you can look at yourself in the mirror without regret. You once believed one decision would solve every problem. Now you know the choices that seem easiest can end up costing the most. And that's the lesson you wish you had learned before the cell door ever closed.